Hello everybody, how's everybody this fine Friday afternoon? This is Bob from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I'm one of the grumpy old men on film. And this is two movies that Mike51 picked for me to watch in regards to King James Marathon, 24-hour movie marathon. It's a take from Ryan Chatterway's 24 Hours. It's a fuck you to him, in a nice way, right? You know, we're nice, So it's fuck you, Ryan Chatterway. But James Marathon. So here we go. I'm going to be talking about the two movies that Mike picked for me. The first one is Them. Right here. Them. What year was Them? I don't know, what, 1953? I think that was 53. Let's say 53 for the heck of it. Anyway, Them. Now, Them, science fiction movie, right? It's all about the atom bomb, you know? And it stars James Whitmore, Edmund Gwenn, you know, the guy from Miracle on 34th Street that played Santa Claus, Joan Weldon, and James Arnaz. And he was in another movie called The Thing as the monster. James Arnaz. Anyway, this movie starts off with a little girl walking around in the desert. The two cops, which one of them is James Whitmore, gets a call on their radio telling them there's a little girl walking around in the desert. So it's an airplane flying up above. He said, keep an eye on the airplane, right, and follow to where the girl is. So he gets to where this little girl is, and she's walking through the desert in a trance. Just her eyes walking like straight ahead. And he puts his hands in front of her. She gets no reaction. So anyway, they take her, they put her in her police car, and they ride up to the trailer. The trailer's been all smashed in. Something's going on here, right? Something big, something smashed the trailer. So they get they call for help, and the CIA's there. I think it's the CIA or FBI. Anyway, that's James Arnaz's job, and they get James Whitmore. He's a cop. He was the cop in the beginning, right? So James Whitmore and James Arnaz kind of work together, and you get the scientist, which is Joan Weldon, and her father, Edmund Gwenn, right? They're specialists in ants. So anyway, the gist of the whole movie is, I don't know any you saw or know most of the movie or not, but it's them. And the spoiler alert right now is they're giant ants. Anywhere between 9 foot and 12 foot long. Giant ants. And hey, I watched this movie a few times over the years. This is one of the better, as in better, sci-fi movies out there, right? So I give this sci-fi movie a good 8. It's a good 8. You can watch this movie, and I don't find anything wrong with it. I think it's a great movie. I think they all did a wonderful job. It's almost like you watch a movie and everybody believes in giant ants, you know. But hey, it's a good job, real good job. And the other movie I watched was a movie called All About Eve. All About Eve. The same thing. I watched this movie a few times over the years, right? It's Betty Davis, right? She's an actress on stage, right? She's been an actress on stage, and she's been doing it for, like a while. She's at the top of the game, right? Right. So in her dressing room, knock comes on the door, and anyway, they bring in Ann Baxter, right? they bring in, Celeste Holm brings in Ann Baxter because she's been knocking on the door and she's been wanting to see, right, Betty Davis's character, right? So I could tell, even when I saw this movie a long time ago for the first time, I could kind of saw Celeste Holm, right? She was, I'm not Celeste Holm, Ann Baxter's character. She seemed a little driven, like she seemed like she was already acting, like how she was talking and telling stories, and everybody's, mystified at her, looking at her, and all their eyes are on Ann Baxter. It's like, even then I thought to myself, she seems a little funny, right? But yeah, she did seem a little funny. She wanted to take over, she wanted to throw Betty Davis' character to the side, and Ann Baxter was going to take over, right? As the main actors on stage. So, and George Sanders, he's another actor that's been in a lot of movies, right? I think he was in Falcon. Was it The Falcon? Oh, well, correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, he was in a lot of movies. I think it was The Falcon. I get them all mixed up. Not so much stuff, I get them all mixed together. But yeah, the All About Eve, 1950. Betty Davis is an aging star of the stage, and who takes in a fan, Ann Baxter, who begins to take over her life, over Betty Davis's life. Best picture from 1950. The best picture of the ball from 1950. Yeah, and there's one thing about this movie, Thelma Ritter, right? Thelma, the actor, she was in Rear Window with Jimmy Stewart, right? Thelma Ritter, very good part. She was very good in this. I totally enjoyed Thelma Ritter. Now, the last time I seen her in this movie was the party scene at Betty Davis's house, right? Thelma Ritter was going up the stairs and taking coats up to the bedroom, and when people were leaving, she was coming downstairs and giving coats to people, saying goodbye and stuff. And now, even now, it's like I can never fathom the reason why that was the last time you seen Thelma Ritter. You never seen her again after that. For the rest of the, hour longer, a little bit longer, or whatever's left in the movie, no Thelma Ritter. She just disappeared. Was there any part in the movie where they said what happened to her, or where'd she go? Did they ever talk about her again? Was she ever brought up? Did I miss something? Is it just me? I always thought, where the hell did Thelma Ritter go? But anyway, I always figured that to be weird. And I've seen All About Eve a few times over the years. I keep thinking about that. It drives me batty. I hate movies that turn around and, 1 minute there's actors there, and then later on down the road you go, what happened to, nobody said anything, where'd she go? Well, that's like All About Eve. Where'd Thelma Ritter go? Did I have a nap and miss it again? Do I keep having naps every time I watch this movie? Anyway, All About Eve, 1950, Best Picture. Thanks to those two picks, Mike51, and this is for the grumpy old gentleman on film, and it's in regards to Ryan Chatterway's 24-hour movie-thon. And James, it was James's idea, so blame him. Right, King James, yeah. So watch it. So it's all it's his idea. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend. Stay safe.